fucking think Lego sucks. I can't stand building them, and they're such a pain in the ass.
Who the fuck asked you?
Shut the fuck up! Nobody asked you, you motherfucker!
Oh yeah, and I'm taking a shit. What's up, creepers and geekers? Chris the Atari Creep. How's everyone doing today? In front of you, we have the classic 4-switch Atari VCS Woodrow package. Mind you, it's got some issues, but it's still what it is. This is a Lego set in the likeness of said 4-switch Woodrow video computer system. That's the gigantic box this beast came in. So I got this bad Larry back in, God, I think July, June, something like that. Started it, it fell, a few pieces broke off, I left it alone. The last couple of weeks we've been doing live streams if you haven't seen them. I do have a whole playlist on this, and this video will also be going in there. But we did a live stream, it mostly just yapping and talking. You can kind of see what I'm doing, but we built it together live in a couple of different streams. There are a few features on this I'd like to point out because I think it's a really cool kit. I honestly am not into Lego, and if you watch the streams, you'll see how frustrated I kept getting. But once we got it, we got it. And I gotta say, Lego did a fantastic job with this thing. Starting with the control panel. We have on, off. I mean, these actually function in a, in a mechanical way. Obviously, this thing has no electronics. See right there, little piece just came off. Jeez, gee whiz. That actually is on like a springer thing. There's like a little rubber O-ring inside there, keeping it from not springing back. It's got itself a little cartridge port. Moving around to the back, you have controller ports. You have your switches for channel 3 and 4, and they do operate it. They're a little tight, they're a little tough to play with. Your A/B switches back here also work, and the representation of what you would plug it in with the little headphone jack like thing. And as you can see, the wood grain is well represented, and there's one more real feature about the console itself that I think is pretty neat. This is very delicate to do, but if you look inside there, there's a little mini living room set, and if you look, you know, you got your little bookcase here with a boombox and some kind of VHS cassette. Let me get that in there, get closer. How cool is that? A little dude playing Atari, he's got his joystick, he's got a little baby Atari right here. Looks like the asteroids playing on the TV. A couple more posters, a telephone, a kitty cat, a couple of toy trucks. He's got himself a little Atari t-shirt. Goodbye. So again, to be 100% perfectly honest with you, I'm not really into the Lego thing. And this was $200, and I think it was like $260 after taxes and everything. And normally I would never pay that much for anything Lego, to be honest with you. But it has the Atari symbol on it. It's a great representation of the console. But there's a lot more to this. I mean, yeah, you have that nifty little setup in here. But you also have 3 cartridges that you got to build and label. So we have Centipede there. We have the old Asteroids, Adventure, and a little thing to keep them in. This is pretty common for anyone back in the day would have had something similar to this. In fact, I have 2 of them on my shelf right now. A lot more storage than 3, but that's all you get with this set. And that's more than fine. And yes, the little cartridges do slot in. They have like a little gap here. There's like a little dealie in there. And you push it in, give it a little pop. In like Flynn. Returning to the back, you'll note that there's spots for controllers. Just so happens that we have a controller that actually has some action to it. The button is solid, it doesn't move at all, but it's got like a little mechanism in there so you can actually use it like a joystick, as if it were actually controlling anything electrical. But it's not. And yet there's still more fun to be had with this thing. Not only did you get the cartridges, the cartridge holder, the joystick, the console, the little diorama, but you also got these little dioramas of the games themselves. Here's the adventure one. We'll just put that there for now. Here's one for Centipede. Now, I had these built a while ago, so they're a little dusty. This just got done live. I have a playlist. Live streams. but it's already collecting dust and fingerprints, so pay it no mind. Pay it no mind. And last but not least, asteroids. Look at the little ship shooting at the rocks and the rock exploding. How cool is that? Have I mentioned how huge the box is? So yeah, there's the full set, I guess you would call it. Everything built, put together, somewhat displayed. Now there's some things about it I don't like. This can be a little fiddly when you pull it out and have to push it back in. Pushing it back in, sometimes you need both hands. You need to lift it up at just the right angle. I don't know. This doesn't like to stay in there too much if you touch it, but if you just put it in, leave it alone, you're good to go. But aside from that, I am super impressed by this. And the reason I picked this one over, say, the Nintendo one, which was more popular, I'm going to assume, one, because it's fucking Atari. You knew I was eventually going to get it. It's part of their 50-year anniversary series, set, whatever you want to call it. And let's be perfectly honest. The NES set, I don't think has as much value as this. Yeah, you got the NES itself, and then you got the giant TV thing, and maybe a couple of the controller, and maybe a cartridge or two. I can't remember exactly. But it's nowhere near as cool as this. Once you build the NES, I mean, then you build the TV, and it's, I don't know if I would consider that part of the console. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. I didn't see the build value. The TV was just a novelty, but it looked like it took up most of the kit. I mean, the NES is a block. It's like a brick, you know? This, you know, it is what it is. And I know there are going to be people who disagree with me. They'll be like, oh, this is all crap. It's too much. The NES rules. But, nah, I'm going with this. This, I was genuinely impressed by the engineering of this. What is it Pixel Dan says? He says, comparison time. So here is an original Atari joystick. Pretty typical. You got your wibble wobble, you got a button here, you got a bottom, you got sides, and you got a thing to probe and poke. And here it is next to the Lego, obviously a little smaller in both left and right. Still has a little bit of action. Actually, it feels pretty similar. It might be a little looser here. Button doesn't do anything, and the color is slightly off, but it even still has a little pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. And you know what? Just for fun, let's compare it to the modern VCS controller, which I hate the spin feature, but that's what this thing is for. It might be coming to a website near you. If you're interested, let me know in the comments. So I suppose comparing the consoles together, you know, it's a close enough representation. It's Lego. I mean, what more could you ask for? Here's the actual console. Here's the Lego. Here's the wood grain with the Atari logo. We got some wood grain with the Atari logo. Ribs. Stuff here. Buttons and switches and things that stuck into other things. And you have that represented over here too. We got all the switches and the input things like we mentioned before, and there you go. You know, all in all, it's a pretty faithful reproduction of the 4-switch Woodrow. And by size comparison, it's pretty equal. Obviously with some exceptions, you know. There's only so much you can do with Lego. So overall, my thoughts on the Lego Atari Video Computer System 4-switch Woodrow. I think it's a pretty amazing set if you're into Lego. If you're not into Lego, it'll frustrate you, but if you get it together, I think it'll put a smile on your face like it did me. It is fiddly, and there are a bunch of little things here and there that every time I touch it, I get nervous. But I suppose that's par for the course when it comes to Lego. So guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Do you have one of these? Have you built it yet? Have you not gotten one yet? Did you just want to live vicariously through one of us out here building it? Again, there is a playlist for the entire build, with the exception of, I don't think we did these on camera, or these. I think I let my lady do these little guys, and I strictly just built this. But either way, I love this. I think it's amazing. Again, not coming from a Lego guy. Coming from a guy who happens to love the Atari, likes building things, got frustrated by this, but 6 videos, 6 live streams. Today's was 3 hours long. But we powered through it, we got it together, and I'm really impressed by the engineering and how this all went together. It was confusing at some points, but that's because I am not smart. So there you have it, I guess you would call it my final review of this Lego set, and like I said, it was frustrating. I had a good time though, I really did, especially the live stream part, interacting with you folks. And now that it's finally completely together, we can put it back in its, we can put it in its proper home. Right there in place of that heavy sixer. Guys, thank you always for watching. I really do appreciate it. Wherever in the world you are, I hope you're doing well. Don't forget to leave feedback. Thumbs up, thumbs down. It's all positive to me. Until next time, take care. Creep it real. And bye-bye.